great to have you.
Okay, pause YouTube. Twitch is where it's at.
For some of our middle of the range.
Twitch is where it's at.
You nailed it, Ashley. Honestly, any type of player can use this of any skill level, but there was a big gap between timing and directional hitting and then zone hitting.
Yeah, get over here now.
Is as the pitch is coming in, as you're tracking it, you're going to push the left stick to one of 9 quadrants where you think the ball is going to end up. And from there, swing timing, of course, is a huge impact.
So to me, it sounds like it's very similar to zone hitting, where like your PCI, you're tracking where the ball is going with the quadrant, but it's going to be a little bit more.
Pablo, what's up?
In terms of timing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's the coolest thing about it, too. It's like it's not as precise as zone hitting, so I would encourage anybody who's really good at zone hitting to continue.
Okay, zone hitting is still better.
For some of us, like myself, you get to a certain point where the level that you're playing at, especially competitively, you feel like you're overmatched. And this might be a way to compensate for that, just in terms of getting more solid contact more regularly, right? And so having a high...
If you need solid contact.
For big zone hitting, because when you push that stick into the zone where that ball is coming in, you don't have to precisely line it right up, but how big your contact zone is going to be based on your contact rating.
Right, but big zone is not the only thing we're doing hitting-wise. Connor, talk to our fans about fixed zone.
Yeah, fixed zone is a new interface. It's very similar to zone hitting, and it's pretty interesting how it came about. We were trying to figure out a way to bring PCI sensitivity into the game, which fans have been asking for a long time. And as we were doing it, one of the first steps we took is, well, what if we detach your release from the left stick, and it's no longer going to go back to center? So basically,
see, that's what we were saying.
Is the ability to move your left stick around, and when you release the left stick, it's going to stay in that previous location. So you can move it around the zone smoothly without having to worry about that snap back to center.
That's really nice. It reminds
Yes,
me
I called it.
PCI
Okay, that's what it
a
made.
few
That's
years
what
ago
it sounded
where you
like.
Preset where your PCI is, but instead of it resulting back into the middle, if you don't set a PCI anchor, it's just going to follow through that slow, smooth motion.
Absolutely, and there's a sensitivity that comes with that as well. And that kind of leads us to the next thing, which is PCI sensitivity. Zone hitting and fixed zone hitting both have a PCI sensitivity now. You can basically scale how fast
You can do it in match
to move. For me personally,
you can change your sensitivity while you're moving.
And because of that, I'm able to fine tune my approach at the plate, and I'm able to basically say, okay, I'm going to control this inside of the plate.
You click in your right stick, it looks like.
Because I know that with my PCI sensitivity, I won't be able to reach it.
And Gil, we were talking before this recording. You have a little method to the madness. How many ticks are you going for your PCI sensitivity?
I knew you were going to bring this up. Yeah, I go 6. So
All
I think
right.
it's like my older dexterity, right? Like for me, I go all the way to the left and I move it 6 to the right, and there it is.
Speaking of competition, especially from the hitting side of things, let's switch on over to pitching, Gil, and this new thing called bear down pitching.
Yeah, super excited about bear down. I think the community is going to love this new feature that we've added. Basically, the whole idea started just thinking about situationally.
Clutch place. Oh shit, Mike.
On the mound,
camera
he might
again.
have thrown 5-6 innings. Nowadays, most starting pitchers only go about 5 or 6 innings before they start using their bullpen. But maybe he knows he's got to get through 1 more hitter or 2 more hitters. That was the idea behind it, right? So they got to bear down to get through those hitters and get through that inning. Maybe extend that outing just a little bit more to save that bullpen. And you see examples of this all the time. You know, Yamamoto in the World Series. I mean, the World Series just showed us bear down. So a bear down is essentially, it's a way for pitchers to be able to store these special pitches, bear down pitches.
It looks like it's
L2. So many of them. So you're going to use them strategically. That's the whole idea behind it. Like high leverage situations, that could be in the first inning. You could find yourself in trouble. And if you've earned them through throwing strikes and strikeouts, if you've earned them, you'll see a little OSD up on the screen right below all your pitches in your pitch repertoire. And that's going to show you when they're available.
Yeah, right
use
here.
them wisely, I say. Like, it just depends.
It was right
He's
there,
gonna
that
have a different
L2.
way of using these bear down pitches.
I was going to say, I had the opportunity to be a part of like some of the early play testing of bear down, and it's really nice. You talk about the visual. It's like this little orange circle that fills, and then it keeps tallying as you include more bear down pitches. You earn them. But I was going to ask, how do
you can earn them?
Well, like I said, you earn them by throwing strikes and getting strikeouts. However, the higher your clutch, the clutch attribute for pitchers,
The higher your clutch.
really is the base behind how often you can earn these, how fast you can earn them, how many you can earn within a given pitch. And even the top rated clutch pitchers aren't going to have like 17 pitches in an inning. I think we clamp those guys around 4 or something like that within an inning, right, Connor? And so, if you're really low attribute down in 40s or something like that, it's going to be tough just to score 1, right?
For sure.
Or 2.
And then
that's
as you
huge.
talk about building up and the clutch that it takes, what kind of boost can our fans expect when they use a bear down pitch?
Essentially, you're going to gain a little bit more control and a little bit more velo on your harder pitches. So, which, obviously matters a lot, right? Like you want that smaller par, the perfect accuracy region. I mean, the smaller that is, the more accuracy you have. And so getting that a little bit smaller in these situations can be really helpful, especially digging yourself out of a hole.
It's awesome. And I'm excited for the cat and mouse game to continue in MLB The Show. For our fans that played last year, we introduced ambush hitting, and now we have bear down to
Yo, boy,
counteract
Pluma, what's
that,
up?
Right, Chris?
Well, yeah, I mean, the idea behind bear down wasn't so much to combat ambush. However,
Damn.
and Connor and I, we talk about this stuff, the gameplay team and Dre,
Mittens, did you see that?
and the programmers, and we talk about this stuff all the time. It's like, if we're going to give the pitcher something, we better give the hitter something, and vice versa, right? It can't just be one-sided. And pitchers always have the advantage already anyway, in real life and even in the game, because you don't know where that pitch is coming. And if a guy's got 5-pitch repertoire or 4 pitches, I mean, he can mix that stuff up. And we give you the tools on the offensive side to combat those things, and that's kind of where I think when you start talking about how our game compares to real life, that we're giving you all those same tools that real life hitters have.
Okay.
And they have a plan when they come to the plate.
So this is all really good information. I mean, we're essentially just giving the player everything they need to have a plan, to make a decision, whether it's with big zone hitting, whether it's with the PCI sensitivity, fixed zone hitting. All this stuff ties into
I'm going to
ambush.
play
It
fixed.
ties into the new feature bear down.
I
And
think I'm going to play
that's
fixed
gonna
just
make
because
things
of how I
even
am
more
as a
fun and
player.
challenging for the player, especially
I
this
feel
bear
like
down
sitting
method.
in an area and then snapping
Well
up
said.
to it
And
with
honestly, I
maybe
just
a
want
little
people
bit
to understand that is how we go
middle
about
to
it.
lower middle
We look at
sensitivity
all
to
the
get
different
where I
features,
need to
right?
be.
So it's important to us, and I hope everybody enjoys it when they get it.
Yeah. And Ashley, it doesn't stop there.
Let's talk attributes, Connor, because there is
Okay,
a whole lot
attributes.
changing, and I know our fans cannot wait to get their hands on everything from the looks of it to the new attributes we're adding. But let's start with the look of it and our new UI with the whole player cards.
Yeah, it's really been a full team effort, and we're very excited to have reached where we're at. When it comes to attributes, like you were saying, the player card's been completely revamped. There was a lot of discussion about, okay, why doesn't this attribute impact Diamond Dynasty, but it's displaying here? Why doesn't this attribute impact other areas and it's displaying here? Well, now we
Coming
completely
soon.
revamped it, and what you're going to notice is that the attributes showing in that
Okay,
mode
this
actually
is
stop
cool.
matter.
That is huge. So depending on which mode you're playing,
Oh, it
the
tells you
card
what
is
each
going to show
ability
you
does.
Which ones are mattering? Obviously, a little bit more maybe for Diamond Dynasty, a little bit less.
Okay,
for
that's
offline
cool.
Play.
Absolutely, and we've also added in.
If you need
additional
to
things
like
quirks into the
refresh
player
and
card,
figure out
kind
what
of
each thing is,
consolidating
you
all
should
of the
rate the
information and reworking the way it's being presented to the players
whatever.
to help them make the best decisions for their team.
Ceiling
Yeah, the presentation is
32,
really
sack
interesting.
bunt.
Our fans are very used to the vertical columns, attribute, 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 but we have a different way of displaying it where it's almost like categorical, where you have contact and then your splits, power and then your splits.
Yeah, essentially the 5 tools, and from there, what you're also going to notice is that it's no longer we
Ability,
used to have
speed
orange for
60,
batting,
steel
yeah.
I think green
32,
for fielding, and we broke away
arm
from that,
strength
and now it's
97.
scaled based on what range you're in. So the best of the best are going to be green. Yeah, the attribute itself is scaling.
But I am ready to hear about the pitcher changes with these attributes because
Yeah.
it's really exciting.
Hits per 9 is where we're going to start. We've added in hits per 9 splits, and on
Hits per
I
9
like to approach this
splits.
from the hitter side of things, and what does hits per 9 counteract? And hits per 9 counteract, it works against contact.
And remind our fans, what does contact do again?
Contact is your inner PCI. It increases the size of your inner PCI and also gives you a more forgiving swing timing window. So that's what contact does, and hits per 9 is doing the inverse. So what it's doing is trying to shrink that batter's PCI, trying to shrink down that timing window that they have to make
I want to
sure
know what that
contact.
is. They're on the card.
And what you're going to notice is that now we have splits that we're pulling from real life data. So hits per 9 is now hits per 9 left and then hits per 9 right. And we're able to differentiate.
Okay, hits per 9 is getting
these players
split.
are playing in real life in our game now.
And it doesn't stop there. Pitching has a complete new look with these attributes, but we're still doing more attribute changes, Chris. We're adding direction to reaction for our fielders.
Yeah, we have a direction attribute going to your right, to your left, going back and going forward. It's pretty self-explanatory, but the cool thing is, again, we'll go back to how am I building my team?
Yeah.
You know,
Reaction
and if I
backwards
wanna strengthen my
70,
left side of my
reaction
infield, my right side of my
left.
infield, how I'm
Okay,
playing, who I'm
Xander's
playing. If
a
this guy's good going to
shorty,
his right and his
so
left, and I'm not
reaction
worried
right
about
is
it. If he's
84,
terrible going to his
reaction
right, I might have
forward
another
is
guy who might
81.
hit not as good, but he's good going both directions. I'm going to want that guy in the lineup, right? Because essentially what that's going to do is affect his start transition, right? So the jump that I get is going to be directly related to that reaction
Which is
time.
something we talked about a lot last year
We
with
did.
some of those infield changes.
Okay, that's
So
smart.
this is just another level of squad building, of realism with the defenders, and it doesn't stop there. We actually switched a quirk with catchers that was pop time. That's now a scalable attribute.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, these guys separate themselves behind the plate for how quick their feet are, right? And
Yeah.
how quick their exchange is. And essentially,
Damn.
pop time is the time it takes.
So
to hit the
higher
ball when they
pop
catch
time
the ball,
gets
the
you
catcher,
up
until the ball
and
hits the glove at second
slinging
base.
the ball
That's
in.
how you calculate pop time. The average in the big leagues right now is probably around 195,
Yeah, it's just under 2
196,
seconds.
something like that. And you're going to find a big chunk of guys that are right around that time, right? But the guys that
Oh, he didn't
really
even get
stick
up and he
out,
threw
the
it.
best of the best, those guys are going to get like down to the 1.7 something. So we're going to scale this from 99 to 0, right? In terms of giving that attribute, we'll apply it appropriately. So based on their pop
Got
time,
him.
you will see a difference in how quickly they get rid of the ball.
You hear that, everyone?
Damn.
I'm going to have a catcher with the best pop time. Don't run on me.
Yeah.
It's going to be really cool. Yeah, don't run on Ashley. I mean, I'm hearing a lot of changes that fans should be excited for. Like, this is the most in-depth
Yeah, I don't know
we've
why
been
he
able to
keeps
go
saying that it won't
thanks
let
to
him
these
leave. He can
attribute
just press the
inclusions,
phone
right?
hang up
Right.
button.
Exactly.
Which, easy W there. Well done.
Let's talk about even more realism. As always, we love
Welcome, buddy.
preaching
Of course.
Larry baseball simulation. We love to be as real as possible. So, Gil, can you just touch on how we're improving that this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think this year we're close to around 600, maybe I think a little bit more than that. New animations added to gameplay very specifically, and that does not include like the batter home run celebrations or pitcher specific animations, things like that. There's tons more. Yeah, shout out to the animation team, Chris Clements. and all
Oh,
those guys.
he
These
did
guys
it
work
before the
tirelessly
green,
to
not-
get us, the smoothest and best looking, animations that look as real life as possible.
Are they
And
fixing
the
stadiums,
programmers
though?
that
Tired of
actually
course
get
all the
that
time?
stuff in there.
I don't know, man.
This year we focused on a few different things, just like
No,
every
not
year.
yet. They
Efficiency
didn't
is
say
really
anything about
important
it.
to us, especially on the defensive side. So we do audits every year, and we try to look at like what are the pain points. Is it guys not getting rid of the ball in the hole quick enough on certain angles? We do all of our throws from very specific angles, and then we get variety from those, and then we get distances from those. So casual situations. Does he have time? Does he not have time? So you understand there's so many for every single catch that we have in every direction. There were a few that we
Yeah, I
wanted
don't know.
to,
You have a
actually
friend
get
over?
to have a little more flair.
That's
right,
fine.
on
I
some of
just
these
don't know
plays
why
that we
you
could
can't
actually add on
disconnect
to
from
some of
yourself.
the higher rated shortstops,
Kevin,
second
what's up, bro?
basemen, third baseman, stuff
Yeah,
like
for
that,
sure.
right? We added more Rob home runs. Balls can bounce off the ball in really odd angles. So transitional animations, there's hundreds of those where you're going in and cleaning those things up so the game just looks perfectly smooth from one thing to another. You can't even tell there were 6 animations played within a catch and a throw sequence, right? Covering the bases on the run, catching it makes them more efficient. So if I'm running to a base, the throw is
Big
now
grab.
allowed to go from all the angles instead of just the few that we had before. But the most important is the catcher stuff, which I think is really cool, right? So
Right,
going
I
back, we talked about pop time with the catcher, but we got a whole overhaul of catcher animations with knee down. But the majority of catchers now are knee down catchers. We got all new catcher animations from the knee down pose. So back picks, steal throws, throwbacks to the pitcher, block balls, right? All new. And so
Damn,
what that
dude.
means is that it just looks like the visual fidelity of just watching the game. You're in that pitcher catcher view all the time. hopefully nobody even notices because it just looks like real life.
Right, just one smooth
Yeah.
motion.
Yeah, I
And
like
so-
I like you talking about the audit that you guys do every year, right? Like
Yeah.
you're always finding a way to make the game smoother, the visual fidelity.
Dude,
making
I'm loving the
every
updates.
defense play efficient, and I think fans, they come to expect it, but there's a lot of good work that goes in there that they
Yeah.
don't even notice. So
Well, I mean, the efficiency thing is really important too to understand because of how we scale based on attributes, right? And you may not get the most efficient throw if you have a low-rated player in that position. And that's
Ashton, what's
super
up? Welcome
important
back.
to understand, right?
Oh,
That's what I
yeah.
love about all this is like the balance of the game, balancing it for all these different things,
it's awesome.
and having all these new features. To me, I'm stoked because it can get more real than it is this year.
Right. I know our Diamond Dynasty fans especially love that. This even more nuance and strategy and creativeness behind the animations, which
Yeah.
cards they're choosing. We talked earlier about the reaction now splitting into 4 different ways, adding to more animations, just more flexibility and more decision making when it comes on who are you manning your outfield, your infield behind the plate. We know we're always trying to make defense matter for our fans.
For sure, and it doesn't stop there. There's some other changes that the MLB has had that they're including that we're gonna also have in our game. It starts with pitch
I'm
com,
so
right?
excited.
Yeah, PitchCom is the first one. That's pretty straightforward. We've already given you the animations essentially with the catcher, putting his glove over his hand and putting his hand on the PitchCom and giving the sign to the pitcher.
Sinker. Low inside.
But now we have the audio part of that, so you have options. You
You're
can
getting
have
the
it.
call. Yeah.
Yeah, you can have it come out of the mic on the
Controller speaker.
controller, or you can have it come out of the TV. And
What?
you have that option. You can turn it off if it's not your cup of tea.
Yeah, and then of course another one I've been having a blast play testing with is
Pitch
the ABS
com?
system.
ABS is pretty cool. It's essentially exactly what I'm sure everybody already knows, that ABS is now coming to Major League Baseball, the automatic ball and strike system. You're going to be defaulted to personalized umpires, which means
Automatic
they can
ball
make
strike
mistakes,
system.
and so it'll be up to you whether you want to challenge that call or not. You get 2 challenges. If you get it right, you retain that challenge. If you get it wrong, you lose it. You can challenge while you're pitching. You can challenge while you're hitting. So you have that option. It's for offline modes. We are not going to have it in competitive style gameplay because it's
Aw.
umpires.
Right.
But it's a really fun way to grind and play when you're playing offline.
Offline
I'm
only
super
challenges.
excited for that. Like I said, I've been play testing it, and it's when you think the ump makes the wrong call, you have like a split second to decide, and it's so fun.
Carson loves this new feature.
Yeah, game within the game. I love it. It does not stop there. We do have a whole live portion, Ashley, where we're going to dive into so many changes. I know people are excited to hear about some online stuff that's coming up. And then, of course, we're going to run through some pitch history options, player lock hit variety, the new fielding difficulty displays, and then some of the D-pad rework stuff we're always trying to make more efficient.
And one of my favorite co-op changes.
And co-op changes. for
Co-op
Ashley.
changes.
I think it's time we get our hands on a dev kit and keep this thing going.
Let's do
Let's
it.
go.
Hello, MLB The Show fans. Welcome back. This is live. I'm sick of you guys always saying we're
Call 'em out.
pre-recorded. We were pre-recorded. We are live now. We are 36 days away from early access. I'm Carson.
I am Ashley, and you just got a first look of some of the new features in gameplay.
Yeah, we talked about bear down. We talked about big zone hitting, and we even got a glimpse at some attribute stuff. We're going to talk more about that during this live portion.
Right, from here on out, you're going to see extended gameplay. We're going to tie a bow on bear down and big zone hitting
Okay.
while answering any questions you might have
User
in chat.
43, what's up,
and
man?
even more importantly, might I say, this is the one part I'm most
What's up,
looking
guys?
forward to. We're going to dive even deeper into attributes, what's new, what was removed that a lot of you notice, and I can't wait.
It's going to be great. Don't forget, if you're watching on Twitch, link your accounts. Make sure you get those Twitch drops for MLB 26. You're not going to want to miss out. I think we're going to get up to 3 today.
3.
So if you watch and you're linked, you're going to have 3 packs off the jump when MLB the 26 comes out.
But let's get right into it. We are rejoined by design producer Connor
3 extra
Ryan,
packs if
our
you join the
director
Twitch right
of
now.
gameplay, Chris
Right here.
Gill, and not to mention we have
Right
Dre
there.
and James to the side. They'll be
3
playing
packs
while
right now.
we're talking.
Yeah, I think it's time to, get
I think
things
I gotta
started
change our
and show 'em
title,
what Bear
though.
Down looks like live.
Thanks for having us back.
Yeah, of course.
And I appreciate whoever turned the heat on.
It's getting a
That
little
they
chilly
did.
in here.
Connor still got his big park on.
Hold on, 2 seconds.
I took mine off, but last year I remember doing this, and people were commenting it must be really cold in San Diego. It's not. It's really nice. But in this room, it was about 10 degrees.
Yeah, for sure.
Was, yeah.
We got the temperature dialed, so I think we're ready to get into the game, right?
Right, let's pull up, play the game. We're going to start with bear down pitching. As you can see, we have some bear down pitches tallied. But to remind our fans, they've just saw this for the first time like 20 minutes or so ago. What are the main takeaways of bear down, Gil?
Yeah, so bear down is a really interesting new feature that I think the community is going to love.
Okay, let's get back to this.
It kind of stems really from, we look at pitchers in real life, their clutch rating, and like guys that can perform in really high leverage,
Mr. Stan, what's up? Or
situations that are impactful, right? And guys that basically bear down. That's where the name comes from. So we're looking at your clutch rating, and that's going to kind of dictate, how fast they can earn these bear down pitches within any given inning. Like I kind of said in the pre-record, you're not going to be earning, 5, 6, 7, 8 pitches an inning. This is pretty well balanced, we think, in terms of having a high clutch rating as a pitcher. You're going to be able to earn clutch pitches or bear down pitches by how many strikes you throw and how many strikeouts you get. And so you could do that throughout each inning. And the idea behind it really is to kind of strategically use them in situations where, you might need them early in a game. Like there are situations you guys have all seen. Everybody that watches baseball, they know that you can run into a buzzsaw in the first inning. You could load the bases with 2 outs. You might need to get that crucial out, right? And if I've earned a couple through that inning of like maybe loading the bases somehow, I've thrown some strikes, got a couple strikeouts. Now I have the ability to use those to get that last out.
And we just saw that right there on the game.
Attaboy, Dre, good job.
Yeah.
And Dre, if you
Dre was in a jam and he bared down and got out of the inning.
Dre, if you want to just turn on unlimited bear downs.
Yeah, let's go to the live the cam.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's really cool. It's like just being a fan of baseball and just watching baseball. I love those high leverage situations, and they're
the most
very
exciting and critical.
We
saw Yamamoto in the World Series.
Right, and then you go down the list, and you can always kind of like name those guys that are going to be okay. Well, I need to get through this inning because our bullpen is kind of worn out. I only got 2 guys up
Hey,
there.
Ben, how's it going, man?
Welcome
in.
And save some arms, right? And I think that's the part that's really interesting to me because it's about how you're managing your bullpen. And most of our players that play this game have a system, especially when they play competitively, of like, how long am I going to let my starter last? And when am I going to bring this guy? And it's very similar to real life now where starters are going 5, 6 innings and then they're using 3 or 4 guys to finish the game. Right. It's very specialized. And so that being said, that clutch rating is going to be really important for people to pay attention to when they're figuring out how they want to build their staffs.
Right. Because if their clutch is higher, it's going to be easier to get some of these bear down pitches. You can have more bear down pitches. So it's going to really affect what you try to decide with your roster in general, right?
Right. And then a couple questions I've been seeing, not only today, but across socials as we saw it, especially it was featured in the gameplay trailer. But do your bear down pitches, as long as you're with the same pitcher, do they carry over from inning to inning, or do you start fresh per inning?
They do. They carry over. So whatever you earned in the previous inning, you carry over to the next inning. And that's the whole strategy behind it. It's like if I'm cruising through an inning and let's say I'm a 99 and I could cap at 4 in an inning, right? I might want to sit. I'm cruising. I'm doing great. Like maybe I'm playing somebody not as good as me. Maybe I'm grinding at a higher level, and I'm a little nervous about that matchup because I'm facing the other team. The other team has a really good pitcher as well, so it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Right.
So I know that I'm going to have my guy last 6, 7 innings, and I might want to save those. However, if you run into trouble in any of those innings prior, like I'm saying, knowing it's going to be a close game, that's when you're probably going to want to use it. You got a guy in scoring position. You're going to want to, I get 2 outs. I want to use one of those at that moment, right? And I look at who's on deck, and so it's their strategy behind all of this. So, yeah, it's kind of a fun way to play the game, and it's going to be in the competitive world. It'll be a little bit different offline too, right, Connor?
Yeah, it will be a little bit different. It's been balanced slightly different for online versus offline gameplay.
Right, just to make it feel competitive.
Exactly.
Versus your offline.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there was a great question in the chat. So they see it from the pitcher's point of view right now. You get a little bit of that zoom in. You can see it all. But the question was, what does the hitter see? Do they even notice
they don't
anything?
even know. I mean, it would be silly, right? Like when
like
you're hitting in real
yeah.
life, you don't know that guy's gonna. I mean, the situation would pretty much dictate that this guy's bearing down. But the idea behind whether or not you're using it or not, you'll never know.
Right. In a head-to-head game. If
There's
you knew
no
it,
way
I
to
wouldn't
know
what
if
you're
somebody's
doing.
bearing
Exactly.
down.
You could try to guess in those high-leverage situations.
Yeah, people
but
are going to
nothing on the
probably
game.
be guessing all the
Yes.
time, or he used it there, he didn't use it there. They're going to look see what that guy's clutch rating is to see how many he could actually
have
within that inning. So it's a really good, I mean, the system in and of itself, I love the feature because you can't really overuse it.
Right.
It's not going to be like overwhelming in terms of now the pitchers have this huge advantage. It's not like that at all. Like we said in the pre-record, you get a little extra velo on your harder pitches, and you get a slightly a little bit more control.
Yeah.
Which is huge. Like if my energy is starting to go down, and I see that my par size is getting big,
Yeah.
right? I can use those 4 that I have saved up, and then I see that par shrink, right, and get out of that inning. So,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, super valuable.
Another question we're seeing in the chat is player to player. Is this going to carry over? Or is it once you have your bear down pitches, with a starter
No.
and you pull them, you're going to have to re-get the bear downs for the reliever?
Yeah, and I mean, again, there's strategy involved there. You're going to have to regain them because it is based on that clutch rating. But for me personally, if I see my guy has 3 more bear down pitches and I know I'm going to be going to the bullpen,
Yeah.
I'm going to use all 3 right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Spend
Empty the
them.
tank, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Additionally,
Yeah.
another question kind of
The
based
kid, what's
off
up?
of that. Once you gain bear down pitches, let's say we're up to 2 bear down pitches, will you ever lose one? Is there
No,
ever a situation, but once you earn them, you keep them, or could you lose it based upon whatever might happen next?
You only lose it by using it.
Okay.
So
lose it by
So
using
if I
it.
give up a home run, I
Yeah.
can still hold on to my bear downs.
you can.
Do you think that's going to happen to you often, Carson?
We'll see. I'm ready to play for keeps this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
World Series?
Statcast
Like-
as well
Like
there.
600.
Okay.
But yeah, bear down, another great feature. I think people are going to be excited for it.
I think I might make it this year,
The
boys.
strategy behind it, the roster making with it.
We're
maybe
gonna
some
try.
pitchers with the high clutch.
Right.
Should be cool.
Any other things you would love to drive home when it comes to bear down before we move on to big zone?
No, I mean, like I said earlier, I just think it's the strategy is going to change from player to player. You use it any way you want, and you're going to kind of figure it out once you get going, once you get the game and you start working, like offline, and you're playing and figuring out how it works, having some fun with it. Then you develop a strategy just like everything else, like you do in our game with hitting and pitching.
For sure. That makes sense. So as we move over, we'll go to the full cam.
Ooh, we have a question from Controller
Controlling
Colin.
Colin is back.
Is there a negative to bear down pitching, a stamina hit or accuracy hit if you don't nail the mechanic?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's a really good question. So essentially what you're
Is
getting
there
is
a
you're getting
negative
more
if
control,
you
right,
don't
with bear down, and you're getting
get
meaning
bear
that
down
your pars are
properly?
small. So you still have to nail your mechanic.
Right.
So if I'm using gesture pitching, I still have to nail that mechanic. If I'm using meter pitching, I got to nail it, right?
Right.
So yes, you still
There
there's the
is a negative.
responsibility ultimately ends up on the player himself. But you're getting an advantage. It's almost like you can imagine being in the 5th or 6th inning. Your energy's low. You're not pitching the same way. Your par's bigger. You're not pitching the same way you were in the 1st inning.
Right.
Colin, are you paying attention?
No.
You asked the question.
I'm reading the
He's the spokesperson.
I feel like I need to be looking at you. You asked the question.
how they're responding.
So
I'm
so-
listening. Gil,
Yeah.
don't worry.
So really, it comes down to I don't even know.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to say with that, if I can cut in real
ahead.
quick, because I've been seeing this question as well. They're like, is this pinpoint only? It's whatever you use to pitch, whether it's
Yeah, the
meter,
mechanic.
pure analog, pinpoint, whatever pitching mechanic, bear down will be available for you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still on you. It's just not going to magically perform the perfect mechanic for you. You still
Right,
have to
right.
You
keep
have to
going.
execute the mechanic,
Yeah.
but you do get a nice control boost when
Right.
you use it.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All
Very
right.
good.
Well, shall we go back to the game, talk a little bit about Big Zone? Saw a few different chatters amongst the chat while we were seeing this in the pre-record. I think a lot of people are drawing like ambush parallels just because of the highlight. Could you talk a little bit about what is ambush? Remind our fans what does it mean, and then what is the difference with Big Zone?
No, that's a good question. I could see right away why you would think that just because of the display that's on the screen. And as these guys are playing the game, you'll see them moving the moving the stick around. It's like it's not necessarily the PCI, but the difference is, Ashley, is ambush is literally I'm guessing whether that pitch is middle in or middle away. Right. So it doesn't really matter what hitting mechanic I'm using. It's literally stands alone. It's completely separate. Here's the difference. Like when you're using regular zone hitting, you have to be finite control in order to get a perfect. Okay, so if I need to be right on the ball. So to center it up, my timing's got to be perfect, and I got to line that PCI right on the ball.
Right.
Big zone hitting is a little more forgiving.
Yes.
And it's like Connor was saying in the pre-record, it's like a step up from timing to zone. We didn't really have anything in between.
Right. There's a big drop off there. We had like 80% of users are using PCI, 20% are using the directional. We need something in the middle for some users, right?
Yeah, and so there's a couple really cool things that we'll touch on with the big zone hitting. So here's what it does. It kind of handicaps the game too. So let's talk in the first
Still going zone hitting. I think I'm gonna go the other one, the next one.
And I start playing at higher levels, I'm gonna start running into guys
I don't think
that
I
are
like
better than
this
me,
one. I think I like the
potentially.
next one.
I run into it all the time now. I'm a little
The
washed.
majority
Young
of people
Peepto,
want to
what's
be in
up? Thank you for
control
the
of their
share.
swing and their hitting,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So they're going to use zone hitting. You get to that certain level where you feel like you might need that.
I like the-
handicap. What Big
I'm
Zone
gonna
is
like
going
the
to do,
free
it
one,
allows you
the
to
one
just
that's
choose
like-
the zone that ball is going to come in. Now here's, if you want to call it the downside, there's two parts to this, right? So you are not going to have the finite control. So you will not get a perfect using big zone. It is impossible.
And that's big. I want the fans to know we talked about
You
this when we
cannot
to
get
the
a perfect
pre-record, but
with
we're
big
live,
zone.
and a lot
It's
of
more
people are
just to get
wondering,
like a
there will be
base
no
or a
perfect
sacrifice.
perfects within the big zone mechanic.
That's what it
strictly
said.
for zone.
Exactly. And there's a really good reason for that.
Right.
Because contact in big zone hitting is the number one attribute that you want to look
Contact
at
is
on your
not
hitting card,
power.
right, on your player's card. So, and the reason for that is because you're not moving your PCI right over the ball. You're moving it to a zone where you think it. So let's just say the ball happens to be, and you're watching these guys play right now, so you're kind of seeing it. But if the ball's in the zone and you time the ball up, which is really important, you always have to time the ball up. So your swing timing is going to manipulate the
I like how
type
the
of hit
players
that you get,
look
right?
too. They
If
look
the
a
pitch
little
is
more
outside,
stiffer
even if I put
around
the,
the edges as well.
The PCI in the zone and for big zone,
Yeah,
where the
zone
ball's in, I'm
hitting, but
early,
the
I'm gonna
other
roll over
zone.
on that ball, hit a ground ball to the pull side.
The
If
fixed,
I'm on time, I'm going to
or
hit a
whatever
line
the fuck
drive
they
to
called
the
it.
side that it's on, whether a left-handed hitter to left field or a right-handed hitter to right field.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so here's the thing. There's no you are not able to necessarily be super fine if I want to drop my PCI if I was that good to drop my
See, that's
PCI
what it
just under
is.
the
It's
ball,
for
hit a
like
fly ball,
bloops
right?
and
Or
shit
just
like
put it
that.
above
Is
a
this
little
type
bit
of hitting?
to hit a ground ball if you were trying to move a runner over.
If
or
you
something.
just need to bloop it
With
and
big
get
zone,
a
though,
and
what
get
you
a
will
base.
see is if you're one zone off, so like if the pitch is, on the outside
honey.
middle zone and you go up to the right, you're
We're
still going to
watching
make
some
contact, but it
trailers
won't be super
for
solid.
the new game.
So your contact rating is really important, and that's going to kind of dictate your solid contact area when your timing is good and when the ball is in the zone. Right, Connor?
Yeah, exactly. Contact is definitely important here, but swing timing with all of the interfaces is critical.
And to put a bow on it, I've been seeing
Okay.
some chatter. We have a lot of great competitive players in our chat. If you're
MLB The Show
using
26, the
zone,
next one.
you really like zone hitting, that's PCI
Yes.
hitting, you find that works wonderfully for you, keep with it. That is going to be your most advantageous hitting mode.
Baseball.
This is something for you're not quite ready to
The
be
next
zone
baseball
hitting.
game.
You're still having a little bit of difficulty
month.
transitioning from, say, directional
getting
hitting
everybody
to zone
hyped up
hitting, 'cause
for
it's quite a barrier to entry from one to the other. This
You've-
kind of brings people
You've
up to
never
speed,
tried
give
zone
them a
hitting
little bit
before?
more
You should give it a go,
competitiveness,
people.
but not sacrificing the cream of the crop.
You
that
should
is
give it a
zone
go.
hitting.
It's
Absolutely.
really good.
The
See,
balance
like,
here
look.
is critical, and with zone hitting, you're still going
It's
to
more of
experience
like
the best
deep
results
hits
that you
or
can.
like being
What I
able to
mean
get
by
on
that is
base or
if we were to look at all
stuff
four
like that
interfaces,
or
zone hitting
sacrifice.
is
It's not
the best
for
players
hitting nukes.
that are best with zone hitting will succeed.
The hitting
the
nukes is going to be
Yeah,
the
and
regular
that's the other
zone
thing, too, like,
or
it's-
the
I
other
wouldn't
one,
say
the
it's only
new,
for a
the
certain
next
set of
new one
people.
that they're
If
going
I'm
to
a
show,
competitive player and I'm really good,
which is the
and
one
I'm
that I'm
grinding
going to
and
use.
I
I'm going
wanna
to
have
use
fun, I
zone,
don't
but
wanna
then I'm going to use
like,
this
play
next
at a
one.
high
I think
level
more.
or a high difficulty level.
Yes.
And
I
have to
don't like
focus
how
so
the
much,
anchor
this might be
keeps,
for you
like,
too, just to grind through the offline
tethering me
modes and
back to
different
the
things
spot
you
that I
gotta
was
do to
before. I don't like that.
earn your way up.
Right. Yeah. I think that ties the bow really nicely, Ashley. And I think
I
we
think
talked
being
about
able to
bear
sit
down,
in a
we've
spot
talked about big zone. This all goes into something
and
we
just
talk about a
swinging
lot,
is going to
Bill,
be what I
in
want.
Just giving the pitcher and the hitter all these options.
You see how there's two
so
different
they
zone
can
options?
go
Yes.
and play our game with an approach.
But then there's
similar to how
also
players in the big leagues
directional,
do,
which
right?
you could say is
for
the
sure.
same as a zone because
for those
you
of you
just
that heard
move
me
the
even
zone.
last year, I talk about approach a lot.
You just
and
tilt
I love,
yourself a little bit and
all
say,
the
I'm going to hit
options
that way, and then just hit it.
We are able to give the community when the game goes out every year, and we've added even more for this year. But you know, hitting
I'm liking all the
very
updates so far.
And one of the things I think we're super proud of is how close, you know, and it's interesting. We get big leaguers that come in here and play our game, and we have these discussions, and we talk hitting, and I love that they understand that there's a lot of similarities in our game to the approaches that they have in real life.
Right.
And I think part of that is like there are so many different ways and different mechanics that you can use that you can tailor your own game and still have that plan at the plate, right? So if I just want to have fun or play in the lower levels, I can just swing away and hit a bunch of bombs. That's great. But once I get into that competitive environment, right, strategy is really important. But that's going to change from game to game because your strategy is going to be based on your opponent, the person you're playing against.
Exactly.
There's no scouting report on that guy.
That
it's
would be like the best hit you can get as that right there.
Already, and then understand how that guy pitched
or that gap shot that he did for the double is going to be like your best bet with this type of hitting
that we have right now.
You're not going to be able to hit bombs. You're not going to be able to do any of that.
The best way to
it's
approach
all
is having
just
a plan at the plate. You're not going to be able to hit a
or
93
gap
mile
shots
sinker
or
in, and at the same time, you know, when I walk up to the plate, hit a 98
like
on
that.
the block away.
Right.
You can't walk up to no big leaguer does that. Anybody that tells you that they're doing that is lying. There's just no possible way that you can do that. And if you listen to any videos of big leaguers talking about hitting and they talk about their approach, they're hunting something, right?
Yes.
They're hunting a pitch, and that's all based on scouting reports. So very similarly in our game, like after a little while, you're going to see these patterns of how people are pitching.
Or is it?
So
not in that
you
type
you
of
talk
hitting.
about
Yes, you can
ambush
still
like
hit
early
one.
in the count.
No, he said it's impossible
or when
in
I'm
this
ahead
hitting.
in the count and I'm looking for something that I want
Impossible
to drive.
to hit a perfect
Why not
in
use
this
that
type of hitting.
tool to say I'm looking for
If
this
you have the
pitch, and then
power
just
like
spit on the other
Judge, I
pitch.
mean, who's
Don't-
to say?
Just let it go. I'm looking inside. So if I'm looking,
But he said
it is I ambush to that side of the plate.
impossible to hit a perfect.
I have a huge advantage now if I guess right. If I guess wrong, it's 0-1, big deal.
Because you
Now
can't
I
hit
go
a direct
1-1,
spot.
2-1,
This
whatever. I
isn't a
get back
direct
ahead,
spot.
I might try
This
it
is
again.
an
Two-strike
area.
adjustment, you might not want to use that. You might want to focus.
Like
thinking,
that's a really
you know,
good fucking hit.
hit a
for
line
this
drive
type of
over the opposite field's head and then react inside and do
hitting.
the best I can. The cool thing about having these,
Thank you for the
like,
follow, Young.
whether it's big zone hitting or zone hitting,
Right, it's an area.
And I
It's
think
not
this
a
is what's
direct
really interesting
pinpoint
because,
spot.
you know, we get
Which
a lot
is
of
what
feedback,
zone is.
and I think I kind of exposed that last year in the stream where I had some feedback on the table. And
They
people
love
could
it
see
though.
what I
They
was
love
reading.
Yeah,
that
that's
we're
right.
constantly listening, whether it's our in-game surveys,
Yeah.
whether it's Twitch streams. We're always watching and gathering that
Always.
feedback in whatever form.
Always. I mean, we're making this game for you guys. This game is for you. It's not for us. We're making it for you. So we listen to everything you say, and then there's a lot of really good constructive criticism out there that we
Ton of
really
it.
enjoy reading. And like, you're not going to hurt our feelings. We appreciate it. Some people say stuff that doesn't really matter, and everybody knows there's trollers out there, and that's fine. That's not helpful. What's helpful is really understanding the game, giving good, solid feedback, and then that's what we look at and we make adjustments, right?
Wow.
And so, you know, people talk about, there's one of the things I think they talk
Great.
a lot about, which is the sliders away and shrinking your PCI.
We should bring up
hey,
that PCI
Colin,
scaling.
can you bring up the PCI scaling image right now?
Did you make an image?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
There we
It's on
go.
this one.
No, look, he's got that. Cool. Well, I'm going to let you talk about it then.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty cool. Essentially, what you're seeing here is the difference between all of these are right-handed pitcher.
can't wait
versus
till it drops,
right-handed
same.
hitter. What you're seeing here is the pitch type was a slider, and this is on Hall of Fame difficulty. There's so
We
many
are going
factors
to be
that go
gone
into
next
PCI
week
size
from
and,
Wednesday
your swing
till
timing window, where the pitch
Monday
is thrown, the pitch type. There's
of
tons
next
of
week. I have to go down
so
to
this
Texas.
is because we have the ability to basically
but
say,
we
okay,
will
let's set,
definitely be back
pitcher
for,
attributes to 62 across the board and hitter
that's the
attributes
12th through
to
the
62
15th of
across
this
the
month,
board,
not
which
next
is our
month.
which is our average. Our average for attributes is 62. What you're going to notice is how ambush, like Gil was talking about, how ambush is impacting your PCI size and also your swing timing window. So middle slider here, you're seeing it in blue. It's a pitch hung over the middle. Your PCI is going to be massive.
We bang it.
Yeah.
Well,
Your
that's,
PCI
I mean, it's super important to understand this part too, right? Like, especially a breaking pitch. If you throw a breaking pitch down the middle, right? That literally is going to light the hitter's eyes up
every time.
I drop my
if I'm looking for 95 away and you hang a slider over the middle of the plate, it's going to get crushed.
Yeah.
So having a plan at the plate and looking for a fastball away, it's not going to prevent you from hitting that 500 feet.
Right.
Right. And that's the reason why that's big.
Yeah. And then, I mean, just looking at this scaling image, you do see that ambush is kind of your weapon with these sliders away, right? And we talk a lot about this. We see it in the community a lot. But there's a reason why it does shrink on the sliders away. It came from years ago, the foul tip feedback that we got, right?
Well,
we got our Twitch drop packs.
It comes from a couple things. Like real life, that is a really difficult pitch to hit, a slider down and away. But the other thing you're going to notice is, like you said, foul balls years ago, extended at bats were frustrating.
Couldn't get any swing and misses.
Exactly. And the inverse to that is swing and misses, decreasing that PCI size and creating swing and misses. So what you're going to notice is when your gameplay style is
our
set to
stadium's getting
competitive,
updates just sent.
This shrinkage, as people call it,
Right.
is definitely more noticeable than if you were on casual or simulation. Casual or simulation used to be the two-player default. We didn't have these gameplay styles in the past. But in order to reduce your
we don't need all of this
your
either.
swing and misses, or I don't know what I was going to say.
No, you're good. What I'm seeing here, and I'm seeing a lot of chatter to kind of summarize what you're kind of getting at.
What's up,
You
man?
have the most opportune hitting situation in the middle right here. You're going to have max contact, max vision. This is a hanging breaking ball over the middle of the plate. Then you go to the left, the green. You're going to have slightly smaller vision in the PCI because, as you can see, it's a slider at the corner of the plate, but you're ambushing it. So it's not as small as you see the red, the no ambush, where you have a much tighter window of hitting that ball if you don't choose an ambush.
Yeah, it's a really good illustration that just shows you how the system inherently works.
Yeah.
Right? And it also shows you how you combat those things. Right? So if I'm going to complain that somebody's spamming me sliders away and I continually swing and miss, well, make an adjustment. That's what a real life coach would tell a real life player. Or, in real life, if I want to move, if someone's throwing me away all the time, I can physically move closer to the plate. Well, how can you do that in MLB The Show 26? You use ambush.
Yes.
Right. Ambush is basically saying I want to move closer to the plate because I physically can't move my batter closer to the plate, right? Or if he's going to throw me in, I want to move off the plate, use ambush. And another thing that's really important, instead of not just hammering on this the whole time, but it opens up that timing window too, right? So a slider away is going to be really difficult to drive unless you time that up perfectly. If you're early, you're going to roll over. If you're way early, you're going to swing and miss. So you need to be really on time on those pitches away, especially something down and away like that. But you use ambush, that opens up that timing window a little bit more. And now you have more room to keep that ball fair and still drive it.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's a good conversation.
All right,
next
batting.
Feedback,
Come on.
We'll be keeping an eye on everything there. But there is some stuff that we didn't get to in the pre-record that I know you're very excited for.
I cannot wait. I know a lot of our fans have noticed the new attribute screen. They saw a couple screenshots here and there.
We already went over this. I want the new batting.
We added some attributes. So, Connor, would you like to start with a pitcher or a hitter and walk us through it?
Whatever you prefer. Hey, James or Drake, can I see the controller? We'll just go into the attribute screen and I'll navigate.
Ooh, there you go. Want to go pitcher first? Show
Let's
the splits?
Let's
All right,
do
we'll
it.
show what we added with the splits. So walk us through what we're seeing here with Mr. Max Fried.
Yeah, so we talked about hits per 9 earlier. That's the inverse of contact. It
Ks
works
per
to
9
shrink
is
the
also
batter's
left and
PCI,
right.
his
with
inner
control
PCI,
and clutch.
and it also adjusts his swing timing window. So the higher your hits per 9,
single
the harder it is for your opponent to make contact. Those are pretty straightforward. Essentially, we're using real MLB stats, and we're able to tell how they're working against batters.
That's a
in real
90
life
overall
versus lefties
max.
and versus righties. Ks per 9, we also have splits now. So once again, referencing
they draw
stats.
some stuff out so much.
Colin, we
yeah.
have a similar image. It is
the K per 9.
The K per 9.
Crochet.
K per 9. And what this is showing is the outer PCI. Again, 62 attributes across the board. And
how
what
are they going to do this pitch usage? How are they going to do
99 K per 9 left versus 62
this new
vision.
batting type?
And
how are
then
they
you're
going to
notice
do?
the outer PCI is smaller because your Ks per 9 is higher.
Like we're already at
and then
50 minutes.
The middle image
how much
is
longer is this going
62
to
K
go?
per 9 left versus 62 vision. And you're going to notice that the batter's PCI is slightly larger, and then there's the overlaid image. So essentially, Ks per 9 is your ability to induce strikeouts, create swing and misses. So what you're seeing is how that works on screen.
And I want to say,
go ahead.
If we want to go back to the game, since we have the pitcher Max Fried up, there was a lot of commentary about switch hitters, especially when many of them enter the game
what it
through
says is
Diamond
the
Dynasty.
usage is on the right side here.
So what this does when you split out the
So
splits
if
is it kind
15%
of
for
combats
four-seam
the
fastball.
switch hitter meta, if you will, that we see. Instead
So
of just having one
don't
K
use
per 9,
fastball
there
as
could
much.
be some
So then
right-handed
it's
pitchers
like
now facing a lefty
20%
switch hitter
with
who's choosing
curveball,
to bat from the lefty
30%
side.
with cutter.
But
He's
that
more of a
righty
cutter
pitcher actually
than he
has
is a
better
four-seam.
K per 9 splits
But
against
his
left-handers.
break on his
Absolutely.
sweeper is
Exactly. And it's all
99,
gonna
but he
be,
only
you
uses
know,
it 13%.
pulled like most of these cards offline.
So
at
his
least, will be
usage is
pulled
going to be
from
here.
real
So
MLB
you would
data,
want to throw
Yes.
which
cutter
is going to make the pitchers feel even
more than you
real
would
than we've had before, because we can separate
anything
how
else.
they do versus righties versus how they do with lefties.
Yeah.
It's a nice change.
And before we move on to hitters, I just want to address how are
It
we
goes from the top to
organizing
the bottom,
Fried's
it looks
pitches
like,
on the
in
right here? What does
usage.
this right half of the screen mean to our fans?
Yeah, the right side of the screen, good question, Ashley, is the pitches are organized based on usage rate. We're also getting those numbers from real MLB data.
This is a
That
new
usage
metric. When
rate,
are they
the
just
more
started
frequently
tracking? How
they
are they
throw the
going to
pitch,
do it
the higher it's
for
going to be ranked in their repertoire.
Bob Gibbs?
Colin?
Yeah.
What does HR per 9 mean?
That is home runs per 9. This is kind of a good segue. Home runs per 9 is a simulation stat. What I mean by that is not every mode simulates. Road to the
I wonder
show,
if
you
they
can click
just
manage,
take
you can
like
press triangle,
his time
and
as a
basically
pitcher,
sim through the game. You can do
and
those
they go
sorts of
through
things in Road to
every
the
single
Show.
fucking
Home
pitch
runs
he's
per
ever
9,
thrown,
kind of works against power
and
when
go,
it comes
he's
to,
throwing more fastballs than he has fucking
simulation.
cuts or
now,
whatever.
In Diamond Dynasty specifically, home runs per
I
9
don't know
doesn't
how they
matter.
track past
So-
players.
yeah.
It's not
We're-
going to be there.
Exactly. So if you pull up the crochet picture image, Colin,
How are
you'll notice how we're only showing the attributes that matter now. You're no longer seeing control per pitch. That's been removed universally. BB per 9 has been renamed to control. That's your overall control
Doubtful?
of
Agreed.
that pitch.
I
There's
don't
also
think
an
anyone
influence
is going
based
to
on
sit there
where
and go
it
through
is in the
every single
repertoire.
game
What
that
I
Bob
mean is
Gibson
a
has
four-seam
played.
fastball in the first slot versus a four-seam fastball in the fifth slot. You're going to notice in the first slot, your par is going to be slightly smaller than it is in your fifth slot.
Yeah, I'm seeing this is good in the chat, and I agree. I think seeing the splits with hits per 9 per lefties and righties, and then of course
89
you're only
diamond crochet.
seeing the attributes that matter for whatever.
Icy
mode we're
Shadows,
in,
what's
not
up?
The
Yeah.
game.
And we have a control room Colin question.
Jacob E for 3 asked, "Is this a recording?" And I think we can all say no.
No.
No,
No,
Jacob,
I
we're
s-
live. Hi, Jacob.
A lot of
I
big
forgot what I was
changes.
gonna say.
Yeah.
No,
It's
you're
pretty
good.
obvious.
But that was
Two
it. Just to
different
kind of
batting
summarize,
types,
we're gonna
an
have your
increase
pitches
in
organized
certain
by pitch
pitches, so if
usage.
you need to
right
clutch
here,
up
we
on a
see the
pitch,
cutter, where I'm looking at the wrong screen.
you
we
can
see
select
the
which one
four-seamer
to
of
clutch up
crochet.
on.
That's the
And
pitch
if
he
you get
uses
the
the most,
mechanic
so
right,
you're gonna
you
have
are
a little
able
bit
to
more control
increase
on
velo
that pitch
and
versus
control
if I wanna
on your
span his
pitch.
circle change.
This is more attribute
So
set
we move on to hitters.
as to
Let's do it.
like usage for each pitches.
Yeah, so this is the Diamond Dynasty.
If you use one that
version
has
of
less
Judge.
This is a
usage,
reveal,
you're
too.
able to get
This
a
is.
hit off of your
we got
pitch
2 DD
more.
reveals in gameplay. Let's go.
a little Easter egg, you know?
So what you're gonna notice here is you'll notice discipline, durability, all of the attributes that are simulation attributes or ones that don't impact.
Pretty good
the
updates
head-to-head,
are what I think.
single-player
There's a
experience
new
are not shown here. So we did a
zone
big
area
audit,
type hitting,
cleaned up
so you can say,
attributes,
I think the ball's going to
and
be low,
this
and
is
if
where
it's
we're
low
at.
and you time it up right, you can get a good hit off of
ratings
that.
are not final. Don't you
Um,
all worry. We're also
Which I
switching
don't really like
between,
that
you know,
one. That
different
one's more
screens
going to
throughout
be like
different
if you
modes in
want
our
to get a
game, so nothing
bloop,
is
or if you
final.
want to get
However, what is
a
that
double or
depending
something like
upon
that.
which
There
mode
is
you
no
are
way to
playing,
get a perfect
only
on
the
that hit.
attributes that have an
The one that
impact
I
in
want
that
is
mode
the
are
fixed
the ones
zone,
showing. So
which
if we actually
is
wanna go back to the
your
game,
PCI
James or
is not
Dre, if we
anchored,
can
it
pull
stays
up
in
a
that
hitter,
spot.
please,
And
talk about
if
what's
you
the
go to like
difference
snap
with
up to hit the ball,
reaction we see offline.
it'll
The
stay
reaction's gonna play a little
wherever
bit
you
differently in,
left your
say, a Road to
PCI
the Show,
last.
Connor.
Yeah, reaction and road to the show is only one value. What I mean by that is your reaction is how you're going to move in every direction there. We just felt like we didn't want players having to spend a bunch of tokens pouring into reaction each direction. One big change for Road to the Show is that those start transitions you see, those delays going each direction, are now taking place in the player locked experience. Before, you always had a perfect jump, and how you reacted was based on how you move that stick. But
just
now it's just incentivizing putting more tokens
What's
into that reaction attribute in Road to the Show. When it comes to reaction each direction, again, these are pulled from real MLB stats, so you'll notice players move different in each direction.
Yeah, so that's big. Reaction will matter a lot in Road to the Show, getting the good jumps like you're talking about, but it will be one attribute within Road to the Show. But
and we have another question.
What are intangibles?
Extra things?
Everything you see on the screen, right?
Okay.
Extra things, and once we launch, that might be changed. So
work in progress.
That is game development. We're constantly working.
The idea behind intangibles and why it's up there is because you have the 5 tools, right? So you have contact, power, fielding, speed, and arm. Those are the 5 tools.
Whoa, that's loud.
When you're
Sorry,
scouting
guys.
and you're looking at players, those are the attributes that you're looking at, right, in terms of grading a player. And so everything else are intangibles, but generally it's like defining those intangibles, and what you see on the screen, it can be categorized as other, which is probably what we'll end up putting on there. So they're just extra attributes, not necessarily attributes, but extra things that they have within their arsenal.
Right. So, yeah, we've talked about attributes. We've talked about the new splits for pitchers.
Okay.
We've talked about usage rates. We've talked about reaction, getting separated into 4 different directions for our defenders.
Oh, you can see everything from the menu as well.
One more we got to talk about, and
What's
it's
that?
catcher pop time.
Oh, pop time. That's Ashley's favorite.
It is.
Why are you so excited with pop time?
I love throwing runners out at second base. I think between that and robbing home runs, like I get a thrill defensively, especially in Diamond Dynasty when you can steal a base runner. So my thing is, don't run on me because odds are I'm going to throw you out.
So we did this. We popped time in for Ashley this year.
There you go.
So we wanted to make
Feels
her
so
happy.
special.
So yeah, pop time was a quirk last year. Only a few players actually had it. This year and like I said earlier, rightfully so, we changed it to a real attribute. It really does kind of define that area of the game for catchers in terms of what's the most important thing generally for catchers, being able to throw runners out.
Welcome in.
In our game, we get, in the stats that we receive for pop time, everything is baked in. So what pop time is essentially is how quick a catcher moves his feet, how fast he gets rid of the ball, his accuracy, and his arm strength. Those are all baked into the pop time number. The average pop time in the big leagues is around 1.95, 1.96, something like that. And generally, you're going to see the majority of big leaguers right around that number. But here's the really cool thing, because it really puts an importance on how I build my teams, right? And if I feel like defense always matters so much, especially as I'm competing over time, that I'm going to want a catcher that can throw
and there's
really
arm
fast
accuracy.
guys out,
so
right? So I think that's really valuable when you're playing this game, and we all know that those 99 runners are going to be stealing all the time against you, that I can, basically set up my team so that I have a guy behind the plate that has a chance to throw that guy out at a higher rate, So, the pop time is really important. And the way that we did that in our game was we took the animation. So it's really interesting, right? Like when you want to break this thing down into like what is under the hood and how this gets calculated, we obviously are taking all of those attributes, like I said, accuracy,
like this
arm
is the
strength,
zone one that I was,
feet,
or the
hands, from something
area
that's been put
hitting that
together by
was
real
talking
data
about.
in real life. And then we have to somehow take it and get that same number on our catchers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So let me give you an example. If I have a catcher that has a 99 arm,
Diamond Thief, what's up?
right, and a 40 pop time,
I'm glad you're saying this. Somebody was asking
This is
about that.
important.
Yes.
right, and I have a guy that's got a 50 arm and a 40 pop time.
By arm, you're referencing arm strength, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. The arm strength. So thank you for clarifying that, Connor. Both of those guys have to have the same pop time. So how do we do that? Well, we don't have the luxury of recording every single big leaguer in the game and having them come down here to San Diego studios and capturing their catch and release, right? And getting their pop time. So what we do is we speed or slow up that animation to the detach, and that means from the time the catcher catches the ball to the time he releases the ball, that movement will get sped up or slowed down, and then also mathematically combine that with the arm strength, right,
of the player,
and then mathematically figure out how to get those pop times the same. And I'd be lying if I could sit here and tell you how that happens because I'm terrible at math, but my programmers are really good.
That's a lot of math.
Shout out to you, Jeff Ullman, who we just sat down the other day and we figured this whole thing out, or you figured it out. Thank you. And Gary Weiss, who's actually helped with Pop Time as well.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, so I think that's super interesting anyway. And the cool thing is, like, we're spitting out numbers that directly relate to the scaled numbers from 0 to 99, those attributes. Yeah. And we're able to give out the real life pop times of catchers, and they translate perfectly into our game. Yeah. And when I say average, the average time, so we'll get into the catcher animations in a little bit, and I'll explain a little bit more why that matters to pop time.
So we've gone through a lot. We've done bear down, we've done big zone, we've gone into all the attribute changes.
Dakota, welcome back.
Pop time now an attribute, no longer a quirk. What we haven't touched upon yet, Connor, there's some online co-op
I guess
changes
Dansby, he
play.
basically
just
said is that
so what can I expect
it's just
going to
be sped up or slowed down depending on their catch and release and stuff like that. But that would also be for
what
said
you're
pitchers.
What you're going to see here is previously just in non-DD co-op, you were able to select from a smaller set of rotations than what's listed here. Now you're able to fine-tune your team strategy and load into the game based on how you guys feel you're going to best perform. You'll see all the new rotation patterns for fielding right here. We're not going to
We can rotate how we want to play.
Per 2 plate appearances. There's a full list
if we want to do per inning
rotations you can go through. So it's really just an enhancing
or
strategy
per plate appearance or per every other plate
There's
appearance.
There's another element to this. Walk me through an imaginary situation.
I think it's co-op.
Who controls the ball in what situation? So usually, say in a rundown, you have maybe player 1 as pitcher, player 2 as the infielders. And if the catcher was involved, player 1 was with the catcher, player 2 was still with the infielders. What's kind of changing this year to make it a little easier?
Yeah, essentially all the pitcher's doing now is pitching. Once the ball's put in play, the infield user is in control of everybody for the infield. If you're
including the catcher.
Yes, correct. So if you're in a 3v3, the infield user will also be in control of the catcher and the pitcher once the ball's in play. One thing to note is like stealing. It really makes you pay attention now because as the pitcher's delivering the pitch, as another user, I'm now having to pay attention to is the guy taking off or not. So it makes you lock in a little bit more.
This is a public service announcement. If you're playing co-op, be a good teammate and lock in. Don't check your phone noties in the middle of an inning.
Yeah, or else you're gonna look really silly.
I'm brutal at that.
And it doesn't stop there. We're talking about some co-op changes that I know a lot of our fans are gonna enjoy, but there's some other good quality of life changes in head-to-head. I know one of them starts with pitching out of the stretch, locked in.
Yeah. So. What was that?
It's there.
Oh yeah, it's there.
You'd rather fix the free toss? Agreed.
We have a setting for offline play if you want to use this option as well. If you guys go to general, and it's somewhere in the settings, but essentially pitching out of the stretch. Essentially what it is it helps to speed up games.
You can just
you're only going to pitch out of the stretch. We had to make some slight tweaks to faster deliveries.
Sure.
Like as Kershaw.
Yeah.
He kills me out of the stretch. He's so fast compared to his normal windup.
Yeah. So guys with super quick deliveries in our game, we slightly delay the start of the animation now to give you a little bit more time to perform that pinpoint gesture or mechanic.
So we see the option here as James is showing.
Oh, here we go. Here's the batting I'm going to do.
Pitching out of the stretch, what you can expect in DD. Like, that will be the norm.
Yes. It's the online default.
Thank you. And that's not the only thing we're changing. There is something that's coming back to Diamond Dynasty, and that's mid-batter timeouts.
Yeah, you can now call time again in online play.
Can now call timeouts again.
Love that.
We took out years ago because of some technical challenges there, but we brought it back, and when we took it out, we were surprised how many people actually were like, oh, where did it go?
I think I remember walking over to your desk and being like,
where'd it go?
Calling time. Now it's gone.
Where'd it go?
I'm happy it's back.
And I would say maybe one of the most hyped changes that a lot of people are going to love once they hear is We know R2ing has been a little bit of a commotion for years on end. That's changing this year.
Yeah, R2 spamming.
Oh man!
Years ago was a big problem. We
R2
made some
spamming
tweaks to make it so it wasn't necessarily messing with your inputs as a pitcher, but we just figured let's get rid of it. So no R2 in online play. You can hold R2 to view pitch history and stuff, but it's not going to slow down the pitcher. We've added a slight delay for the pitcher to actually be able to select his pitch to kind of allow you to buy more time. But with calling time back, we feel that people have plenty of time now.
The community loves you, Connor. I think you're going to have like a whole
Cruiser,
bunch of
what's up, man?
gifts on your desk tomorrow morning, so
we
get
go.
ready.
Getting so many W's, and thank gods. No more R2. You can call time. Some really good, just quality of life stuff for head-to-head players.
Right, so we talked once again, bear down, big zone, attributes, online changes. I know, Gil, we want to touch a little bit about new animations before we let our fans go for the afternoon.
Yeah, I think so. Year after year, like when you see like what we put streams out, or we post things online, and you'll see just a number where it says 500 new animations this year or 600
Grisham
new
goes
animations
yard.
this year. And going back to
Cruiser,
what I
how's
was
it going,
talking
dude?
about earlier, where we read a lot of feedback,
Yeah,
right?
we're seeing it
from the
everywhere.
community. We
Yeah.
see feedback, and one of the things that you constantly see, especially when we put out some of these things, where it's like, oh, same old animations, and I just want to say that baseball, very specifically baseball, a sport video game, baseball hasn't changed for over 100 years.
Right.
We have almost 16,000 animations in our game.
Yes.
That is just gameplay
16,000
animations. I'm
animations.
not talking
Yeah.
about
Graphics aren't
personalized pitching. I'm
aren't
not talking about personalized hitting.
necessarily
I'm not talking about any of the presentations.
the
Very
big.
specifically.
I mean, there's things
close
within
to
the graphics,
16,000
like the
gameplay
graphic
animations.
under
Playing the
his
game, yeah, within.
So when you're playing the game,
Under-
I've touched
under
on some of
his,
these things,
runner
many
circle or
times
whatever
where,
you want to call it, and the graphics.
you can only catch the ball
of,
so
like,
many ways
the
in a
pitching
baseball
stuff,
game.
that's
If
all
I were to
pretty
go get a
cool.
new backhand catch, I would do it the same way I do it right now. So I got a setup backhand, a running backhand, a running forehand, a setup forehand. We have catches that come from
It's gonna
they're
look the
pre-pitch
same. It's
stance.
not. It's
So
on
if
the
ball's
same
hit really
system.
hard, I go 1 foot to my right, 2
Until
feet to
they
my
make
right,
a new
3 feet to my
system
right,
that's
to
going
my
to be
left,
like
my left,
higher
and then
or
all
res
around
or
me,
whatever,
right?
then it's
So
going to look the
I have
same.
to go low, mid, high, above my head, right, left. We have catches for every single position around a player. We have every running catch. We have every sliding catch. Right?
Damn,
Now,
Giancarlo.
you could argue that, yeah, maybe that the right foot is out, and you see something in real life where you're going to see some, a different style maybe within every. But this goes back to what I was saying about the catchers. We don't get every big leaguer
All
in here
everyone
to
does
go,
in the
okay,
chat
I want
is
you to go make a
complain.
diving
I
play
mean,
in the
they're
left field. How
asking
do you
questions,
do it, right? Or how
which
do you slide when you
It
slide
needs
into
to happen
home?
like
How do
how
you
are
slide
like
when you slide into
what
second?
Dansby
So
said.
we get a
why,
wide
why aren't
variety
they
of all
looking
those
at
things,
freeze
and they
off?
share those animations.
Why aren't
but
they looking
it's
at
important to understand that
somebody said
our game
stadiums?
also works in a way when when you talk about the enormity of animations that we have in our game, that there are plays that you watch that might they might be made up of 7, 8, 9 animations in a row, and you're not even noticing them, because not everything is just a swing or a throw or a catch. We have transitional animations that also make up part of that 16,000 animations that are in the game. On top of that, if we did animations 10 years ago that are a little outdated, we go in and redo those animations. So
The
the
game
count
hasn't
in the
changed
core
since
doesn't
silent
actually go up. It
movies.
stays relatively the same, but we're renewing, refreshing
Yeah.
Is what he
older
said.
And
animations,
we talked
so they're
about that
not
in
the
the
same ones
pre-record.
all the time.
Always auditing.
Right,
Always
but
trying to make things look fresh.
You're still going to see animations that you saw 5 years ago in our game because it's baseball. It's what they do. And honestly, unless somebody can come here and show me how you can field a setup backhand any different than the way we do a setup backhand, I'd love to see that, right? So I guess from us to everybody else, I would argue that there's not another sports game around that has even close to the amount of animations that we have in our game.
Yeah.
And the variety that we have, and the situational awareness that they have. So not only are these guys changing the way that they throw based on how good they are, based on their fielding and throwing attributes, they are changing based on the situation itself, whether it's a casual situation, an high urgency situation.
Oh, is it already back on?
And so we get those throws from every direction, from every
When's the
distance.
game start
so we have
today?
throws that are over 200 feet, throws that are between 100 and 200 feet. We have throws that are 50 feet. Then we have tosses that are under 25 feet from every catch, because you never know what orientation he's going to be catching, and we do that in all directions.
Yes.
So anyway, that is my long-winded way of saying, look,
That was Ryan.
we are refreshing and adding animations into our game. Work really hard to do that. We're super pleased with the stuff that we get in every single year. And unfortunately, they don't give us 5 years to make a game. They give us about 9-10 months. So,
yeah, I think it's well said. Honestly, we've covered a lot today. We covered big zone
Oh,
hitting.
just
we covered
international
bear
ball.
down,
Okay.
the all new attribute system. Attributes are only going to be in the mode you're playing within the game. I think that's awesome. We talked about some online changes with co-op, but is there anything else you guys want to cover here?
I think we're solid. I don't have anything else. Was that a keyword that I was supposed to remember?
No. It was
Anything else you want to say?
I feel like I forgot something, like when Colin says, okay, when I say this at the end, say this.
no.
And because Colin,
We got some questions.
Ooh, I like it.
I love questions.
So, elevation. Any change to elevation gameplay related this year?
In terms of what? Like
Hitting.
all the elevations are set in terms of where those stadiums, is that what they're saying?
They're asking if elevation makes a difference in gameplay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Elevation does
absolutely.
make a
Our
difference,
physics are super advanced. I mean, I heard
Elevation still
engineer
has
talking
a
about
hold
this
on
just
the
other
game.
day, and he's talking about molecules in the air and all of these different things, and it's
It's
mind-blowing the amount of
Poulos,
work that Jeff McCarthy
Felix and
his other
Dansby. Who's the
programmers,
other one besides Felix? What was the
even
other? What was
think
the
about
third one? You have it in
when-
your video.
elevation, wind, humidity, all of these things
There's a third.
definitely have a big impact.
Yeah, I
for
mean,
sure.
like you're playing a night game in New York, the ball's not going to travel as far as it is. Well, they have a short porch. It's not going to travel as far as the
I
ball's
can't remember
going
who the
into in
third one is.
Arizona,
There's a
right?
third
Like,
legend.
in a day game or somewhere in a higher elevation like Colorado for sure, the ball's going to fly. And it's interesting though, you bringing up the physics. I mean,
Colorado,
the
ball
what's
is still
interesting
gonna
is
fly,
the
so we're
last
still
time
going to Rocky.
Aaron Judge was on our cover was the year that we actually changed from going from our first physical engine that we had before for hitting and going to true real life physics where you could put in the launch angle.
I can't remember.
the
There was a
exit
third
velo,
legend, Vance. I
and
forgot
match
who it
the
was.
exact same thing that a hit was in
Rip.
real life. And I remember Aaron was in the studio. That was 2018.
Yeah.
The year he was in the studio, and when we first
Sam,
when
thank you
Jeff
for the
first
share,
came
buddy.
up
How
with
you
this,
doing?
he had him in the office.
They
and
are
we showed
almost
him
done.
hitting a bomb in a stadium, and I can't remember the landmark that his ball hit, but we dialed in those numbers in the game, and the ball hit the exact same landmark in our stadium. And it's a good flashback having Aaron back on the cover and
Vance,
going
thank
now
you
he's
for the
back on
likes,
the cover
guys.
and having this conversation. But to
That's super
Connor's
interesting.
point,
Yeah.
it's way over our heads in terms of how it gets done, but it's true to life.
And we got the right guys to do it.
100%.
And one more thing I've seen in chat is they've noticed the blur
Yes.
to lock
Oh, did you guys put
in
the blur?
when you're hitting.
Oh, go on, Connor. Talk about
Yeah,
that.
this is,
This is Connor's favorite feature.
This is depth of field.
Good job.
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. From the hitting perspective, you can turn this on if you want. It's under your camera options. Essentially, it just cuts out a lot of the noise in the background. If
You
you
hope they add Busch
don't
Stadium
like
as
playing
well?
in certain stadiums
Cardinals
because
fan?
of the batter's
They
eye
might.
or pitcher's delivery, you can turn this on and it helps to track the ball out of the pitcher's hand.
Yeah, and that's the coolest thing too. It's like, and we've tested this in stadiums where people might have problems, and it just a lot of times it depends on the pitcher that's pitching. You get a guy that comes like it throws sidearm, and the ball's coming out of some object in the back that might have like a little white window or something on a door that's in center field
Yeah.
in some weird crass
The white
stadium.
t-shirt
Yeah,
guy.
exactly.
or something. And now you have this option. You can play with it or not, but it blurs kind of everything out in the back, and the ball pops, so
Yeah.
you get a better
Depth
visual
of
the ball.
field. Blur it out, lock it in.
And this is available where in MLB The Show
Everywhere.
26?
Universally.
Yeah,
So
everywhere.
you just
It's a
you
set.
go into your camera settings and it's in there. There's also a bunch of other options in there. Like if you go to your displays, settings, pitch history. There's hitting and pitching displays here, and if you change that to custom, you're gonna see you're able to basically pick and choose how you want your pitch history to display. So you can start picking up on opponent tendencies within a game because you don't have those scouting reports of your opponent before going into the game. This is kind of a way to create your own scouting report as the game's
Did we
going
get
on.
three
So
of our
there's tons
packs?
of different options in here. You can customize the color. There's a bunch of options there.
Yeah. These are some really good quality of life improvements I'm seeing.
You got
people
5?
in the
I only
chat.
got 3.
Seen 2 more questions, maybe, Colin?
Can you answer if there will be going to be a hardcover physical edition like older years of the show? We can confirm no, we will not be having a steelbook or anything related. And then people are.
Oh, the first one gives you 4. Oh, okay.
Stay tuned.
We'll be talking about that stuff later, so stay tuned.
Yes. Good question, just not for right now.
We did want to touch on some of the gameplay changes in Road to the Show. I don't think we got to that. I think we
Tune in next week.
Yes. We talked a little bit about reaction, but we'll get into more next week.
Okay, sweet.
Cool.
Sick.
Yeah, well, thank you, Gil and Connor, for joining us.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for everybody. So,
and thank you, fans, for watching.
Like,
this is
follow,
our first
subscribe,
feature
all of
premiere,
that
and it was
stuff, wherever
gameplay.
you're at.